Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having a great day or night, depending on where you are. Okay, so for those of you that are just finding this channel, welcome. We have been covering the Sebastian Rogers case. For those of you that are returning viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. So there's a few things that I want to get into about Chris. Okay, now there's been a lot of people that think that Chris and Katie themselves are victims in this case. I do not feel that way. But I'm going to let you hear some things right straight from the horse's mouth, right straight from Chris's mouth himself. I mean, he has showed us his true colors. I don't know if a lot of people out there are colorblind. I don't know if a lot of people out there have selective hearing, but Chris has come out and said some very suspect, very sketchy things. And we're going to discuss it. So let's get right into it. Before we get started, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you have not already done so, please hit that subscribe button.
I don't have time to be emotional. I have a wife to take care of. I have a daughter. I have bills. I have a house. I have things that have to be done. And I have a family. So I don't have the time to be an emotional person. I stated my piece, and, things after that, things have been great.
I don't have time to be an emotional person. I stated my piece, and ever since then, things have been great. Did he say I don't have time to be an emotional person? What is that? Your stepson, who you've been in his life since he was 7 or 8 years old, has been missing now for over a year, but he doesn't have time to be emotional. He doesn't have time to be emotionally involved. He doesn't have time. Basically, what he's saying is, I don't have time to care. I don't have time to care. And ever since I've come out and said my piece on it, things have been great for me. Things have been great.
But I also understand that they have a job to do, and I have to go by that. And I've been happy ever since.
Things have been great. I've been happy ever since. Yeah, this is the guy that people are like, oh my God, he's such a victim in this case. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Well, there's some folks involved, creator-wise, that know this. They're just choosing not to accept it. They feel, there can be something else done. Well, cool, if so.
Okay. I don't have time to be an emotional person, meaning I don't have time to care. I have a wife. I have a daughter. I don't have time to care. I've came out. I said my piece. Things have been great ever since. I've been happy ever since. So this whole, they're a victim, he's a victim in all of this, is the biggest load of horse shit that I've ever heard. I don't understand why people are not getting it. Chris does not care that his stepson is gone. Does not care at all. Right from his mouth, he doesn't have time to care about it. He's been great ever since. He's been happy. What else do you freaking need to hear?
That happens a lot.
Worst part. And that's fine. That's understandable. Personally, I think everybody fucking starts looking for shit.
Yeah.
Ain't even worth the fucking bacteria of the foam that forms on the fucking worst form of bacteria on Earth. That's what I truly feel.
Yeah, and I feel you. I hear you. I can feel it through the phone.
Oh, trust me. Chloe's lucky I'm not standing in fucking front of her. Like I said, I will bring the fucking cops when I see her.
Okay. Well,
And it was more my protection than hers. Because right now, you can inform her. She fucking calls me, says my fucking name, anything of that fucking nature involving Katie or me or anybody else, I'm going to slap the shit out of her with the same fucking thing I told you.
Wow. Here he is again. This guy everybody wants to say is a freaking victim. Everyone wants to say, well, he's being harassed. There he is threatening to slap the shit out of a woman because she disagrees with him. Did you listen to how many times he dropped the F-bomb in that 1 minute little clip? Did you feel the anger that guy has inside of him? And he wants to play victim. He wants to threaten to slap a woman. Okay, first of all, he's got this authority complex where he thinks he's intimidating. You know, and I guarantee you he used that on Sebastian. I guarantee he did. But that is the real Chris Proudfoot right there. That is him. That is the real man right there. Not this person that everybody wants to say, oh, poor Chris and Katie. No. You are mistaken.
The rumor is actually that about your mom, her car being parked at like Warsham's and him getting in.
Okay, so here's the answer. The final answer to this.
It's not just an online rumor because people have driven up to me and personally spoken about this.
Okay,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, can I make the statement?
I wish
This is very simple.
Wow, look how he went from 0 to 120 in, seconds flat. And you're going to tell me that Sebastian was safe in that home with that man?
This conversation has nothing to do on social media. You want to have this conversation, Seth? You call me, you get Heather, you get Chloe on the phone.
That's
Hell,
fine.
I'll do you one better, and
Right.
I will get Bobby and Carter on the phone, and we'll all sit down and have this little fucking powwow.
Seems like Chris has some anger issues. Seems that way. Let's hear some more things straight from the horse's mouth, shall we, folks?
Some people in this world are a lot more patient and tolerant than others. And there are some people in this world that I would highly recommend they walk very softly, because there are people in this world that won't tolerate certain things, and you will find yourself in a potential legal situation. I'm just saying it. I'm not saying it's me, but I know who you're referring to, who is a very stand-up man, great family. We all love them. The community loves them. Definitely not places where people need to dwindle.
It's too bad that the family, the community, didn't care enough about Sebastian as much as they do this man that Chris is out there trying to protect. It's too bad.
For no reason. But I will say this, there's some funny aspects that people have made out there. Somebody said that my uncle owns the subdivision next door that they're being built. No, my uncle's retired.
I mean, not for nothing. But you can still be retired and own things. Now, I'm not saying his uncle does own it. I'm just saying you can still be retired. You can be retired and still own things, businesses, shit like that.
I think it's great, though, that people want to come out with kind of crazy things, but good Lord. I wouldn't dwindle too much into certain things. It's really not.
And you don't dwindle into things. You dwindle on something.
not worth it, folks. It's really not, you know, because in this world, they say like 1 in 6. No, like one person out of every 6 people, somebody that they know that they know that they know. That's how small the world is. In some aspects, it gets smaller and smaller. So you may say something, and it may eventually down the road, karma has a way of coming around with a name and a face. Be careful. We don't need that. People don't need that. We all need to be standing citizens
It's upstanding citizens, dummy.
that take care of one another. I'm sorry, but I can't stand to see how much negativity is going on in this world.
I can't stand how much negativity is going on in this world. But look at how much negativity was in his life, in his household. Look at the negativity that he was just bringing to that chick that he wanted to slap the shit out of. I mean, this guy has clearly has some issues of his own. This guy has come out over and over and over again and shown everybody just the type of person that he is. And people refuse to see it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if people have been paid off. I don't know if people have been, bribed or blackmailed into being on the side of the Proudfoots. But when it comes to this case, there is no reason why people should be defending these two. There is no reason. None whatsoever.
It's so simple that it's probably a very boring case if you took away all the crap. It's just a simple, we have a 15-year-old autistic child that is missing. And unfortunately, the best part about it is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind whatsoever.
Now, who would say that? If you were a caring, loving step parent to this child, right? And they've been missing, you wouldn't say the best part about it. You would say, and the worst thing is that there is no evidence to go off of. But no, instead, Christopher chooses to use the words. And the best part is he did it without leaving any evidence. Now, we have heard Chris say multiple times he is referred to there being no evidence, zero evidence. He said that over and over again. But when you're going to sit there and you're going to say, and the best part about this is that he did it, he disappeared without leaving any evidence, is not a loving stepfather who wants to find his son. That's not the case here. I mean, I don't understand it. It's like you hear these people that defend these two and you just want to knock their heads together, because it's like, do you have any brain cells in that brain? I mean, is it working? Because the things that this man has come out and said about Sebastian, about the case, about everything is mind-blowing. Now, I wanted to bring this up, and I know you can't see it for some reason. This screen's green. I don't freaking know why. I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, I want to read this. So Chris, someone that worked with Chris at St. Jude's that day, right? On the 26th. Now, according to the story, Katie called Chris at what? 6 in the morning, 6 something in the morning. And he was at work, right? Now they said, I am working at St. Jude's. Chris was operating the crane for us February 26th. Now that's the day that Katie that called him that morning and said, listen, Sebastian's missing. I had issues with his performance and his attitude and demeanor all morning. So bad that I requested for him to be removed. Now, he's not upset. He's not crying. He's not distraught. He's not worried about his son. No, he's there, obviously, according to this, like just being an asshole, being arrogant, so much that he needed to be removed from the work site. Now, Chris told us that he had to wait until they could get coverage for him because he couldn't just leave. He wanted to just leave and come home, but he couldn't do that because he was at a job. So he had to wait for someone to come and relieve him in order for him to leave. He never told us. He never come out and said, no, I was removed. I was removed from the property because of my shitty ass attitude. Now, does that, again, that's not someone that is like freaking out because their stepson is missing. No, that's not the behavior that this guy is describing. Now, here's something that I found interesting. So Chris obviously watches Dolly, obviously. So he calls in to the show there and wants to vote off Laura Lodge, who we know just did the interview with Seth and Tony. But he calls in Dolly's show and wants to, vote him off the island or whatever. Not a big deal. Here's the thing, though. Chris supports Dolly, okay? Dolly, okay? His brother is an RSO living in his home. So he wants to do all this talk on Sebastian about how, oh, well, if people knew what he did or who he was, nobody would look for him. Chris blamed Sebastian for the essay that happened to him in California. But he supports Dolly, somebody who has an RSO as a brother living in his home. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody knows what an RSO is, babe. Now, speaking of, I thought that I should include this because Chris supports Dolly. That's why this is important. Chris watches Dolly, right? And he allows things like this. He allows people to talk on Sebastian like Dolly and this chick that is with him and this lady that calls in. But that's all good. That's cool, right? It's cool to talk about Sebastian in this way. I just saw this morning, this clip. I could not believe what I was hearing. So let's take a listen. It might not play. It hasn't been playing any of these. So we're only getting the audio, but it might because it's on Twitter. Let's see. Part of me is like, I don't want to play this, but part of me, I do. Because these are the people that the mom and stepdad support. This is the kind of crap they support.
Somewhere. Let me tell you, I do look for him. I'm in the woods looking. I'm looking for remains. It sucks to say that, but it's the truth.
Like their statistics.
Yes. Dolly. Hello.
Hi, Dolly.
Hey.
Hey, this is Judy from Florida.
Hey, Judy.
In my opinion, and this is just my opinion only, I think you've been asking about what he might have did that nobody would go find him. I think maybe he was showing himself to little girls.
Do you think that's what it was? It was something of that nature?
Yeah, I do. And that's why the whole family was really mad at him. I think he might have even showed himself to Faith. And that might have been why.
Now, it has already been established that Sebastian was very close with Faith. Nina said so. Seth said so. That this has already been established, okay? Not that he would never have done something like that. He was very protective over Faith. He was very, big brothery over Faith. So why they would allow, why Chris and Katie, I mean, you want to attack everybody else, but why you would let somebody that you support sit there and talk on your son the way that they did right here in this clip is disgusting.
He wanted him out of that house.
I've always felt stuff like that, but I didn't want to voice it because I don't think it's really art.
I mean, we do know Chris said things like I could say some things where nobody would want to look for Sebastian. But listen, Sebastian has a mental disability. If he was, let's just say he did expose himself. Is that enough to not look for him?
Well, that all adds up to what I believe happened, because when he got diagnosed with autism, it was because he was hitting he got diagnosed at 14. His behavior had.
Which I gotta say, I did not know that. I did not know that he was only diagnosed with autism at 14. That's weird, right?
Change enough to where they went to get him diagnosed for something, and then the stuff that Seth was saying in the beginning about how I think he had to step in front of it.
What if he was having man things going on at inappropriate times?
Like, I mean, it's possible.
You know, I mean, I don't know.
If it was little girls, a lot of people would be really shunned to go look for him, because if I had a little granddaughter and somebody showed their self to him.
I mean, a mentally challenged kid, though, it ain't like a normal person.
I still would be upset. I want to keep my kids away from him as far as
Is that enough to make people not go search for a missing kid? Just because he had possibly done something like that?
You know what? I don't know, because if that was, like I said, I have a lot of granddaughters, and I'm very protective over them.
Yeah.
And if somebody was doing some stuff like that, I'd want to keep my kids away from him as far as possible. I don't think I'd go search for him. And
that is absolute insanity to me. That is absolutely crazy. These people have no proof or evidence that anything like that took place. But yet, they're sitting here trying to justify why people aren't going out and searching. Why Chris and Katie are not going out and searching. That's what all of this is. That's what they're talking about. Why people wouldn't be out searching for Sebastian. And then saying these things without any shred of evidence whatsoever is absolutely crazy to me. And we know Chris watches Dolly. We know that. So why they are allowing this talk on their missing son is ridiculous to me. That is not okay, ever.
Sounds maybe terrible because he's got problems, but very protective over my girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Chris to say something like that and not, you know,
I think he handed it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about it publicly, but between me and PJ, we kicked that around and thinking, well, what could he be talking about? What's so bad? And like I told him, even if he did that, a special needs kid, he may not understand what he's doing, and that's still no reason not to search.
That's actually the only thing that made sense to me, is that it had something related to the essay to do with his behavior, because we saw him in public on video. He actually
I asked somebody
if he had essay behavioral issues that they couldn't get under control.
Yeah, but I asked somebody behind the scenes. I asked somebody behind the scenes, and they said that's not the case.
His real father was walking
that
around
it was
naked.
the case.
You know,
wasn't his real father walking around without any clothes on in front of him?
His real father said that he was showing his weenie to people and thinking it was normal.
Yeah, see?
I mean...
But if he did that to Faith, you don't think that Chris wouldn't fly off the handle?
Yes. I'm sure he wouldn't like it.
Okay, now, here, at the end here, is where the lady tells what she believes happened. And that is crazy.
No, I'm sure you wouldn't if it was your daughter.
No, my daughter's 25 and I wouldn't like it.
We're pretty protective over our little kids.
Yes.
Well, anyhow, that's what I thought. And I think, in my opinion, that Katie took him to a car, and I think that they took him. I agree with that one Reverend Donna. I think that they took him to a house, and I think they beat the crap out of him until they killed him.
What? Is that not insane? So many people believe that he was taken into a vehicle that night. Okay, that's what the flashlights were, right? This woman is literally saying, I think, which is crazy to me to speak on. Like, it's crazy to even put something out there like this when you have no idea, is to say, well, I think that Katie put him in a vehicle and they took him to a house and beat him until he passed. Chris and Katie watch and support this person right here. They support this. They're letting this continue, but they want to get offended and they want to cry victim when somebody says something about them, but they allow they allow people and they support people who speak on their son in this kind of light. That is disgusting. Everything Chris and Katie have done have showed us who they are. There's a saying, when someone shows you who they are over and over again, believe them. So I don't know what everybody's problem is, because Chris and Katie have made it very freaking, to quote Chris, crystal clear who they are and how they felt about Sebastian. They have made that abundantly clear. As far as I'm concerned, it's disgusting. They are disgusting human beings for everything that they have done, everything that they have said, everything that Katie didn't do for her son. It's, in my opinion, I mean, it's over. Like, what else is there to say? These people did not care about Sebastian. Bottom line, period. All right, let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm going to end this one here. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light, and I will see you all next time.